I believe we're here to create. And a lot of times we're so busy doing stuff all the time, we don't sit long enough to have the muse come and say, this would be a good idea. How about that?
It's trying to capture it. Like it's in the air and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to like capture it right now. And sometimes it feels as fleeting as a dream that you wake up and you go, but it was just so there a minute ago. It's great stuff to live for. Greetings and welcome to season 4 of Sit Down and Have a Tea, a podcast from the Wolfgang and Luke Art Gallery, now located in Sterling, Virginia. My name is Silvana, and I'm hoping that you really enjoy the episodes. Thank you so much for listening. All right, Mary Ann Redmond from Great Falls area. We started off by talking about what she classifies first and foremost herself as an artist, because she's been a musician for a long time. Obviously, that's well documented. And then she's writing and she's doing photography. So, I said if you rank kind of, your top, your art forms in a list, what would they be?
And I said, they all kind of work off the creative side of the brain, which is where I live, because the other side is adult. I'm, self-professed, self-diagnosed ADHD, and luckily my husband's brilliant on the other side. But to get back to your question, creativity, I started off as a singer. You just knew that that's what I wanted to do. I could feel my voice at a young age, but also I was a songwriter at a young age. Like at my 5th grade class, I got up and played guitar and sang an original song. I'm sure it was crappy, but it was,
no other 5th graders were doing that.
No, and they probably didn't want to. Rightfully so.
Just back down, Marianne.
They had other books.
What was that song about?
Oh, I don't remember. You can't.
You have to dig up those lyrics sometime.
I don't think it's in existence. And I don't think I wrote it down. It was probably not worth sharing that.
Because you're like 10 years old at that time, right?
So yeah. So anyway, so there's that. Music and writing kind of coexisted together. The photography I was so ill with some stuff, like I had Lyme disease, I had foreneal stenosis around my throat as a singer, which was not only physically traumatic, but also emotionally. It took a minute to get it all back. But the cool thing was my husband's an amazing photographer. And he kind of helped me. He took video of me when he saw, my cell phone photos of the foxes in the front yard. And he gave me like an inexpensive camera to start, and then get my skills up to, and then he moved me up to another. And he's just been so gracious with his, brilliant.
He's so supportive. He's so supportive.
Most of the women that I know are looking for this type of partner. And I was 50.
You got him.
I was 56 when I got married. And
really?
At the first time. I'm his third. So so that might tell you something there. But, so he, I am so friggin' lucky. I lived in a log cabin in Great Falls that I could barely afford the rent for like 13 years. And Mike actually rented another place in Great Falls after he was divorced for 6 years when we met. And then we ended up getting this place that's just a dream.
It has all these animals.
The front yard's it's like a sanctuary. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just magical. Yeah.
That's the magic of Great Falls. It's fantastic. So I'll just clarify for the audience. It's Mike McDermott, and he's also an artist with the Great Falls Studios group. And you just joined Great Falls Studios. But yeah, I looked at kind of your resume and I said, oh, you're like the triple threat of of Great Falls art scene here. So we're lucky to have you. And you were singing, so your style of music, how old were you when you knew you were a singer?
In kindergarten, I raised my hand because Sister Martha Mary, the principal, came in to class, and I asked my teacher, Mrs. McCarthy, if I could sing a song for the principal, and she said, kind of random, but okay. And I sang Dominica, Nica, Nica, Sole Plemos en Monsieur. So I sang this song for the nun, and they were like, okay. Well, the Sister Martha Mary went up to my mother at the PTA meeting and said, I had no idea your daughter could speak French. And my mother was very confused. And she said, oh, she's been listening to the record in the basement over and over. So basically, phonetically,
you were picking up.
and I'm sure it sucked, but it was like enough to fool Sister Martha Mary. Take that. So, yes,
that's awesome.
So I was just, my brothers were music. My mother had the most beautiful voice, and luckily she shared that with me genetically. And because I tell people it was either this or KFC. I really don't have any other skills. So that got me through a lot of stuff. And I studied at VCU for like a year and a half before I ran off on the road with the band. So yeah, it wasn't meant for opera, although I studied it for a little bit.
You studied opera.
I studied, technique, and
you studied everything. Yeah. But you're like soul. You're mainly soul. Would that be correct? Your voice?
I consider like I'm a pop singer and I write pop, but I do have I've been told I have a soulful voice. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. I heard a couple pieces and I just thought, where did this voice come from? Is that a voice from your mom, or that's one you're all your own? Or
she was more like old school, you would expect. She sang in her graduating class. She told me this story. She sang "I'll Be Seeing You" for her classmates at St. Gertrude's and at their graduation. And so she was the soloist, but she said, I never had the guts to do what you and your brothers go out and be on stage. But Christmases at our house, and on my mother's side, there were just beautiful voices in the family, and they would take harmonies on Christmas carols.
You're like the Celine Dion of the United States.
I would awesome. Love to say that, but I am no Celine Dion, but yeah.
So you have brothers any sisters? Just brothers?
No sisters, two older brothers that were just viciously mean the whole that raised I tell people I was raised by wolves. So there you go.
Yeah. There you go. But they're musicians as well. That's wonderful.
They were. They did more like the real jobs and then played on the weekends. So I was the one that kind of took it all the way to like, this is what I'm going to do for a living. And my mother was like, don't you want to be a secretary, honey? Everybody's a singer, so that not a lot of support there, but
you've gotten awards. Like you have a substantial background now.
I have got a lot of awards for a middle rung singer. I've done very well in that middle rung. Done great.
That's your niche. That's you.
You've done really well. Hey, it's not about the accolade. I mean, it is. I appreciate all of it. But honest to God, where I came from with all the trauma and stuff growing up to where I ended up with this amazing partner in this beautiful place to be able to create, the book, just get an idea. You go home, you Google, how do you write a children's book? And I've got a PR guy working with me now who's basically saying, well, you just tell them literary, children's literary stuff. I'm like, I don't know any of this stuff. It was an idea that downloaded. And I said, this would be a great children's book. And then my girlfriend said, Mary Ann, that's genius. And honestly, I don't hear those words uttered very often.
It's interesting because it sounds like you're really, you've had success. And now you're really coming into like a really full, I will show, you gifted this to my daughter. Thank you so much.
So she was not feeling well that day, right? She had an ear infection or something?
She had an ear infection and that was on the Wednesday. And then on the Friday, she still needed to stay home for some cuddles and love.
That's the worst.
And it's back to school. Yeah, it's back to school stuff. So thankfully she's pretty good now. But yeah, we enjoyed this. Thank you. And it's very sweet. Said you saw, is it your niece or somebody booping a?
Oh, I was with my girlfriend Lori, who was her dog Bo. I was given the two of them a ride back to their hotel. She travels with the dog everywhere, and she was booping him. And I just said, she's going boop boop boop, and I'm like, oh, that's great. I guess he's very boopable. And then I went ding 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 ding. You know how I really believe like there's just some sort of muse that floats around when you get these creative ideas. And I just said that would be a great idea for a book. And then I Googled like how you write a children's book. It said extra points if you rhyme. I'm paraphrasing. And I'm like, I can rhyme. I'm a songwriter.
I love that you rhymed, would you laugh if you booped a giraffe? And how did you meet your illustrator?
She previously, the year before, I had a photo of Madeleine. This is Madeleine.
Yes.
Who stopped coming this year. And if I talk about it too much, I'll start crying. They don't last long enough. But she was a regular visitor and she was stunningly beautiful. And she saw a photo that I had posted on my socials and said, would it be okay to do an illustration? I said, you can illustrate anything you want of my photos. Yeah. And she gave me this beautiful photo, made this photo of, and so as soon as the book downloaded, she was, of course, my first choice. Like, if I could have anybody on the planet, and this is her life. I mean, Pendragon Studios, I think, is her website, but you go look at her work. It's so incredibly soulful. The eyes that she creates are they're just gorgeous. And she and Corey Kerr, she also has some animation skills. So when the music came for the book, they created the animals and got them dancing and stuff on the boopable side.
That was very cute. Yeah. So just to explain, so this QR code here on the back, you just your camera on it and a link will pop up into your screen and you press it and up comes a little video, music
video.
You
don't even have to have the book. You can go to boopable song animation, it'll come right up. So, and then the kids can play it over and over again. And I say, my PR guy said, oh my gosh, you have so many views on Boopable, congratulate on the song. And I said, that was just one kid. And I said, the parents are now in an institution. It's so annoying after the fourth time. But
play it again, play it again, play it again.
So I got to do a reading with Jennifer over at Great Falls Elementary for the kindergarten a couple years ago. And at the end, they had the smart board, and we all got up and danced to the Boopable song. And it was just so wonderful.
Oh, that's sweet.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. And then for photography, so Mike got you a camera and you have foxes, obviously, who come to visit. And I love your daily updates on Instagram, with who's there and all this. I can follow that. I'm trying to think, you've got deer. We've got lots of deer around here.
Yes. We have deer, foxes. I've had, of course, raccoons. I have one that I named Gus, who'll run right up to me and scare the crap out of me. And I've had possums. I've had groundhogs, one that I named Dulcinea because she's the most beautiful groundhog in the world. She's also a hand model. I just make this stuff up and put it on socials. And there was a blue heron that came to the bench once. We at nighttime we have the flying squirrels. It's a whole thing, man. You need to come over one night.
I will. I see there's a coy wolf.
That was the first time I've ever seen anything like that. We've had coyotes.
I'm just going to show it because
we've had coyotes every once in a while, which is good. You don't want coyotes hanging around in your front yard. They're very good predators. They are part of the ecosystem, and I honor them. I think they're amazing creatures. They can kill small animals more than anything, but people are much more dangerous, I think, than coyotes are. I was doing the reading at Jennifer's kindergarten class, and she had me, I do a calendar every year with my photos that all the money goes to like wildlife rehab people. But I got to the coyote in that specific calendar, and one of the little boys goes, "My dad killed a coyote." And I'm like, well, we got through this whole thing without trauma until right now. Just kept moving, like, oh, la, 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 la.
Yeah, for sure. So when you see something, you just grab your camera and you run and you get it, or what's your process?
I am the laziest photographer on the planet. I have a big tripod that's sitting right over there right now with a big, huge lens. And right now I'm trying to get a little chickadee from my friend Lucy because for her grandson who likes them. And so if I see something that's adorable, I just run outside, and a lot of times it'll be gone by the time I get there. But if it's a gorgeous day, or even if it's cold, if there's something cute out there, I'll be out there with them.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
most wildlife people are out doing treks in the mountains and all this arduous stuff. So I'm really
Yes.
a convenient. But luckily, they bring all this amazing gorgeousness to me, so I can't, just snap, snap.
You've got the energy.
Okay.
You've got the vibe for it. I mentioned to you before, I've got, you had commented, am I still Catholic? But Our Lady out front, a little statue that my daughter had picked. And funny enough, well, they haven't been here for a while, but there's like little Bambis, that 3 of them that come and they circle.
Oh.
And I took some footage of it because I just thought, oh my gosh, they haven't been back in a while. I assume they've, they're growing up and they're going to different pastures. But yeah, so special. And we've got a couple beautiful foxes in the neighborhood. One would curl up, but a lot of the times I would just have the deer, the moms, and the babies just, you kind of take a close look and you go, oh, that's a deer all kind of like wrapped up and taking a nap in the backyard. And you think, oh, I know that a lot of people see them as nuisances and, they've got the deer flies and this and that, but it feels like it's like an honor to house them.
I'm with you 100%. And I was with a hairdresser one time who said something about, well, those deer and they're spreading the Lyme. I'm like, they don't want the Lyme. They don't want deer ticks either. The deer ticks spread the Lyme disease.
Their fault.
It's not their fault. And, the poor ticks probably don't want it either. So, you go down the line there. But the more I took the photos and was ill and getting through all of that, the more I just connected. And that one fox that showed up in 2018, I named him Omri. And he was just magic. He would come visit almost every other day. He would nibble peanuts off of started putting peanuts on the bench because the deer were eating the bird seed out of our bird feeders. So we just decided we'll help them out and put that out there. Well, the foxes, everybody likes peanuts. So the foxes would show up, but he would come and he would, by the end, with 5 years, he would visit. I would be upstairs and out back. We have a fence yard for the dogs. And past the fence yard on a stump, there would be Omri looking up into the second floor window for me like, hey, lady,
hello.
I'm here.
Bring me the peanuts.
It was just magic. I mean, he was magic. I mean, it wasn't even the food. A lot of times we'd just sit out there and he would just curl up.
That's amazing.
And we'd hang out.
Even though you have dogs, which is amazing.
Well, we've got baby gates in the back of the house, so they're not, losing their mind
at the window
at them, which is a good thing. But yeah, so because Moses, he's not having it. Indy, she might have a brother, fox or sister. I'm just kidding. Not bringing anybody in the house.
Well, we had 30 years worth of Airedale Terriers, we went through. And they are, I just thought, well, one of them, probably there's some kind of mix of animal out there from Oscar. And then, with Wolfgang, it was the porcupines. He just had a thing for the porcupines.
Oh, no.
And Luke had a thing for the skunks. And so we were always imagining, these combinations. But the funniest thing was so in my parents' house, so we had 2 dogs, and usually at any given time. And my parents, and they overlook a big backyard. They're out in the countryside, and they have a patio. And from the kitchen, the squirrels would come up, and their little eyes, and they'd kind of be like, "Where are they? Where are the boys?" And they just like to come and just wind them up because they knew they were safe.
Oh, they will taunt. They will taunt them. The flying squirrels at night will actually come down and taunt the foxes. And I've got video of the foxes jumping, trying to catch them. They're all,
it's a game.
They're all like this out there. You watch the birds and they're like, "Hey, look at the pretty birds." No, they're aggressively trying to kill each other all the time. Right? Yeah.
Do you still write music? I like to look at like kind of creative process. You're interesting because you've got, different mediums, so to speak.
I was working with Danny Leonard, my guitar player, who basically revived my singing stuff. They were by the end of we were doing every Sunday night at the Harp and Fiddle for 20 years, I think it was. So my hands before the surgery were felt like somebody was sitting on them. And we were just all burnt out. So COVID actually gave us all, the club folded after a little bit, but we all just stopped performing for a while.
Sorry, was this a club in DC?
It's Maryland and Bethesda, the Harp and Fiddle. I think it's Harp and Fiddle.
Okay.
And it was like being in my living room for 20 years. And I'm so grateful to have that, be able to go play with the guys that I play with, because they're all state-of-the-art, amazing maestros. But so towards the end of COVID, we're like, well, what are we going to do? And I just said, Danny, let's see if you have some arrangements. And I sent him some songs, and he worked out some arrangements that were just beautiful, like Boys of Summer. We actually did a video for it. And he did True Colors that was just stunning, and all these different things. So I'm like, we should try to write together. He sent me on a voice recording the music for Bigger Buddha, and I'd ordered another Buddha. I had one in the front yard that seen better days, so I got a different one. And the one that showed up, it's huge. And it's sitting out there at the tree. And Mike would say he would come down the driveway, go, every time I turn in the driveway, it looks like somebody's sitting in our front yard. It's like a life-size Buddha. It's not quite that bad, but anyway, so with all the horse crap that's going on in the world today, I just thought, he sent me this music, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to need a bigger Buddha because this isn't working. There's too much stuff. And then, so when the music came, I just thought, gonna need a bigger Buddha to excavate my soul. Need a magic mantra to heal the world the whole. So it just flowed. And then the rest of it came out, and we finished the song, and we did a little video right here in the solarium, put it out there. But that was cathartic. I don't need to write pop songs anymore, try to make it in the music. I just want to express the creative side and be grateful for what I have and go that way. But I don't work on songwriting. Like, I don't sit and go, I need to write a song today. Yeah, those days are.
It's what comes to you.
Yeah. Like the book.
That's a gift.
Yeah.
You're very gifted.
It's all gifts, man. It's all gifts at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we just, you and I met because you had a 2-night show at Katie's, the Old Brogue, and you showcased your artwork as well.
My photography for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. And it sounds like you had really, really great response.
It was
Everybody,
better than
we
I
were hanging
thought.
up and everybody was very charmed, by the animals. And it really, it suits obviously the area,
Yeah.
and it touches people, and they say, yeah, I want a piece of that. This is Great Falls. So
Yeah.
it's art that speaks to them, and you can tell everybody just loves you.
Wow.
So it's great.
No.
I could see Brittany, she's so happy to see you. And anyway, it's just really nice to see the community like that. That's the enjoyment of the Great Falls Village, is when you see people gel like that, and it's fun. So.
Yeah. We were at Katie's this morning having breakfast, or I was there with Lucy, but we go like every Sunday for brunch, and it's like our Cheers here in Great Falls.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I'm imagining that you're busy kind of doing shows here and there.
Very sporadic gigs. I've got a couple in November.
Okay.
But I have a PR guy that I hired for the book. So Mike and I have to jump on a train next Thursday, and we go up to New York, and we do an hour on a kidlit studio platform thing. And then we jump back on the train at 5:00 to come back home. So if you know anybody that wants to watch my dogs, and we're also picking up a cat with 7 kittens today from Middleburg. They were supposed to be euthanized today. And I just couldn't, she took 11 foster kittens off my hands when I was like totally, but this one these 7 have a mom. And Middleburg, they're all these people that do the fostering and then the animal rescue. I'm big fan of these people. They're so selfless, and they do so much good work for these animals.
And a lot of times it's just out of their own pockets, like to foster, because I'm connected to some people with Airedale Terrier rescue, because I was looking at potentially rescuing an Airedale, and it hasn't happened yet, but just getting in touch with these people and, just seeing what they do. And actually, one of them that leads the group is in Middleburg. So we were just out there, and it just makes my heart sing to see like 2 Airedales. And Airedales, I don't know if there's another breed that does this, probably, but I know an Airedale singing voice, from like miles away almost. So I walked in, and they're, they start, when the Airedales start kind of getting, rambunctious, then someone will start singing, and then they're both singing. And it's just this wonderful cacophony. And then all of a sudden up rose, from the corner, like this wolfhound. And I was like, oh my God, this is a dream, like out in Middleburg, beautiful scenery. And, you're rescuing animals, and, you got these gorgeous dogs yourself, and life can be good.
Yeah. So you don't have any dogs right now?
Not right now. No, I know. Well, my daughter's begging me for one. And I just said, well, we've tried, but again, it just hasn't worked out with some of the fosters. But I have dogs sat for my friends, and I can groom dogs. They'll all get like an Airedale Terrier haircut, ultimately. But yeah, I'll do that for some friends. And but she, like my mom was diagnosed with cancer this year, so I've been going back and forth. I've been traveling a lot, so I just said, and it's just me, and my daughter. And I just thought, I always feel like, what happens if the dog's sick in the middle of the night or something? Because I take very meticulous care of my animals. They're like a human. So I can't just let things go with an animal. My heart's bleeding for them. But how do you tie all that in when it's just you, looking after?
How far do you have to travel for your mom?
Well, right now they're in New York City. She's getting treated at Sloan Kettering, but mid-October, they're going to transfer back to Canada. And then eventually come down here. So the idea is that when they come down here to live with me, then we can kick into the dogs. Yeah. So that's the idea. But in the meantime, I said, well, if we're going to get a dog, then it would have to be a dog that I can travel with on the plane.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Dachshunds. She met my friend's dachshund, and a couple of my friends said, get a long-haired dachshund because, they have a little bit more, charm to them kind of thing. You can brush their hair. And I thought, okay. So we're looking, and I thought, well, I do like two dogs. I'm like a two-dog person. Yeah. And I thought, okay, well, she's set on calling her dog Rosie. And my last dog was Wolfgang after Mozart. And I thought, okay, Rosie, and what would I name my dog? And I thought Mosey, short for Mozart. So Rosie and Mosey. So we're ready with the names anyway. Now we've just got to find like a brother and sister
You
or
gotta
something.
meet them though. They might have completely different personalities.
They might.
So.
They might. We had Oscar, who was this beautiful, like, he was a good tenor. He had a beautiful tenor voice. Like he heard Pavarotti playing, and he just joined in. And then I got, Wolfgang, and I thought, oh, then they're all going to have beautiful voices. And I got Wolfgang, and after Mozart, so I thought, oh, he's going to be very musical because that's what I've decided for this dog. And I said, okay, let's see, Wolfgang or Oscar sing. So we got Oscar singing. The first time Wolfgang saw Oscar singing, he released his bladder and ran out of the room because he was scared. He's like, what's going on? But the next time he was ready. So he looks at Oscar when he's singing, and he starts to sing, and it's, and I thought, oh boy. Not all dogs' voices are the same. And then we got Luke, and Luke had this beautiful baritone voice. And I thought, well, of course, my mom, because my mom's a singer, or she was a singer,
wow.
And she loved. And it did not get passed down to me, so of course neither would my dog get the voice. So, so we'll see. But yeah, so there you go. That's a long little thing about dogs singing, but it's fun.
Well, if we're talking about dogs singing, Indy just went viral again on TikTok and on Insta. Not so much on Facebook, but she's got 1.2 million views on her last singing, last singing thing for 4, 5, 6 weeks.
What's her handle on TikTok?
It's just Mary Ann's Menagerie.
Oh, that's cute.
And then Instagram is just at Marianne Redmond. She used to rescue she and Moses are from Blue Ridge Border Collie Rescue.
Border Collies are a thing. Like my brother just got one, and it's our in the whole like mix of dogs that we've had as family. I just thought he doesn't turn off. He doesn't turn off.
She's 11 now. She's starting to slow down a little bit.
Starting at 11.
Our dog, he's 10, so he won't run as much as he used to, but he can still bark your head off. So,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Are we talking about you?
Oh,
good girl.
Oh, so cute. Okay. So for people to track your music shows, how do they find them?
www.marianneredmond.com. And Marianne is Maryann Redmond, REDMOND.com.
And that's got information about your photographs, it's got music, everything.
The photography is MarianneRedmondPhotography.com. So that'll take you to the photography. But I'm always posting my photography on the socials and stuff like that. So
yeah. And they can just get in touch with you for that.
And Brittany at Katie's was like, we need to do this again. We need to do this more often.
I think so. I think it was a really nice mix. Like I said, I felt like it was it brings to mind for me Leonard Cohen, just because he was, a writer and soulful musician. And yeah, so I thought, oh, this is special in here. You can feel it. You can feel there's magic.
Thank you. It was fun.
I always love watching Stevie Wonder sing because he just the joy on his face, I said, I wish, if I sing too much, my throat, I get like a throat infection. So singing's just really not for me.
I
don't know what it is.
Come on over, we'll work on that.
And I just, so I that's one of the most beautiful things. So, my hat's off to you that you can do that and that you share, so
cool.
I know you probably feel like you can't help but share, but there you go.
It's either this or KFC. So there you go. Would you like extra crispy or original recipe? You know, I've been practicing just in case this goes away. So
they used to have, when I grew up in the 80s, they had that orange colored potato salad. And I don't know if it was ever orange here, but in Canada, we had the potato salad had like a orange tinge for whatever reason. And it was the most delicious potato salad ever. I was never into the macaroni salad. It was like, okay, chicken skin and potato salad, orange potato salad. So there you go. Do you have another book idea?
I do, but it hasn't downloaded yet. I really want to write about the magic of Omri coming to visit. So, and the experience of connecting with wildlife, almost like they're your indoor canines. They're just out there. Because before I noticed or cared about the wildlife realm, it's like, my focus was just on my own domesticated animals. But the more you widen and realize, oh, wait a minute, we're not separate at all. We're all part of the same universe here. And the same goes for people, same goes for animals. And the more you can honor the connection, I think the better we'll all get along,
And the togetherness of it. Yeah, we're all in it. I always marveled. The one thing of living in New York City did for me, I was there for about 13 years, was you've got, small space for a lot of people. And generally, everybody tends to give you wiggle room. And that's the magic of the city, is the wiggle room, Okay. Okay, we're all trying to do our thing. We're all trying to get someplace. We're all trying to survive and work hard and do something and be original and be ourselves. And, that's always why I love the city so much. And yeah, I learned that. I just said, come on, we're all just trying to find our way, and let's give each other a little wiggle room or something like that. But how did you come up with the name Omri?
Oh gosh, like anything. I named Omri. It just, seemed like a fun name for a fox. And then, I had more showing up. His girlfriend came, Fleur. I figured he was French, so Fleur had to be Fleur and Henri, although I didn't see her much. But then Jacques came and set Henri away and brought Amal, his girlfriend. So they brought their kits after they chased Henri off. He came back after they had their babies, but he brought the kits to my front yard while Mike and I were trying to do a meditation class. I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm doing a meditation. So I'm like, got the camera out. I'm taking photos of these little kits darting around my front yard. And he would bring them every night at dusk, sit there like a lifeguard while these little beings would just run around and dart to and fro. And they grew up. I had a couple that looked just like the two of them. And Mr. Gabor used to come and get his photos taken. He would pose on tables. I have
This is so funny.
Another fox that's come in the last few years. I haven't seen her lately, and I'm worried about her, but I named her Cocoa Puff, and she would play ball with me. I actually would throw the ball, and she would grab it and throw it in the air and run around with it. And they're just my outdoor canines. So I love them.
That's amazing. Yeah. So it's funny because you were talking about your singing debut was in French, and now you have all these French named animals. I love it. It's the continuation of it.
That's right. Yeah, it's all connected.
Fantastic.
Ding, 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 ding.
Now, do you ever get together with your brothers and jam?
Oh, Lord, no. My brothers and I are on different
wavelengths.
Yeah, and political spectrums. So I'm very, very liberal and inclusive. And sadly, they're not so much. So I wish them well. I hope they find a little more grace and can be a little kinder to everybody, or inclusive with everybody. But they believe what they believe with conviction, and At least one of them does. The other one just, I'm not sure what he's doing.
You played together though, kind of growing up, or did you play music together? Yeah.
At 15, they were the ones that said, we're putting a band together and you're going to sing. And one of our first gigs was at Fort Lee Officers Club. And we pulled our stuff in, and there were makeshift runways with these Korean ladies in pasties and G-strings dancing for the men. And they loaded up their stuff and went out. And my 15-year-old self went up and sang, "Jesus is just all right with me," at the band afterwards. So that's kind of where I started. It's all downhill from there. No, but it's it's great.
It's quite an experience for a 15-year-old.
Yes. I learned quickly. I had to learn very quickly being in clubs that early.
Wow. My brother, I guess he started with guitar. And that's the reason why I asked, because I just thought, it's nice that if you could do that. My brother, unfortunately, though, wanted me to sing Ozzy Osbourne, which, not even being a singer, I just don't even have that register. He was an incredible singer. So, there are certain songs that I know by heart because, Lord, I did try to sing Ozzy Osbourne.
It's so funny.
But it just didn't pan out that way. But it's just funny how what brothers can try to pull you into.
Oh, yeah.
So there's just some funny stories there.
So is your daughter musical?
She is musical. She loves to sing. So when she's just kind of bopping around the house and playing with her Barbies, she's busy singing away. She picks up on the pop songs of the day and stuff like that, and she's got a good ear for the music. And she's doing piano lessons, and I've got a little music kit set up here where she's got drums, because she always.
Whoa.
We watched the Wiggles when she was very small, and Emma at the time was the drummer. She was in the band. And she really liked Emma with her, big happy bow ties and stuff like that. And she was also a ballet dancer and Irish dancer. So Vivian was picking up the ballet, picking up the Irish dancing as well. So the Wiggles I really liked that vintage of Wiggles. It just connected. And Time and a Place. Anyway, so there was Emma, and then there was also Ringo Starr. I mean, we grew up with Beatles, cool. And she just loved the drums. So anyway, so she'll get up on there, and then I've got ukulele and hot pink ukulele, because if you can get it in pink, it's even better. Yeah. And she's interested in the guitar, so we'll see. But she's coming along on the piano, and her hands are strong, and she's emoting, through the and so I'm okay, calm down, Mom. Just let it go, because I get so excited. But she wants to play duets, so it's making me jog through my memory of playing piano and sight reading and stuff like that. So, but it's good. It's really nice. And so, so I just said, if you guys want to ever start up a band with your friend, the garage is there.
You're the coolest mom ever.
I would love that.
I mean, it's like, that's amazing. Yeah.
It's fun. So I just thought, why not? And, so we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but try not to, I try to calm down, and, she's beautiful with her art as well. So I just want her just to stay open to the muses as you are, and, if it comes to you, it comes to you. And, we do little videos together that we put out there, and with her Barbie stories. And so there's storytelling there. And it's so great to be able to take risks through creativity, and to find yourself and be happy with yourself and all that.
And I teach voice to a lot of, teenagers who are struggling with, oh gosh, what is everybody else going to think? And you just have to go, okay, that's your super ego. You go sit down and you just say, okay, I might suck for a while, but I'm going to discover more about myself. And you just let them know that everybody has a learning curve, and that's okay. And that's part of learning is failing and trying something different, or not even failing, but you have to, especially the voice is a muscle, you have to develop it. It takes a second. So
and maybe there's something like psychological, because I remember, I grew up on the Beatles with my parents and playing it. And I was in the kitchen one day. I think I must have been around 9 or something. And I really, I took a moment to try and sing in my mom's presence yesterday, which is why pick that one? I don't know, because it's hard for me. And my mom laughed. And I think that was it. I was like, and I'm not trying to beat up on my poor mom, kind of thing. But it's one of those things where you just kind of go, okay, note to self, so who knows? Maybe I did take, when I was living in Charlottesville, for a very brief stint, I was helping with the opera group down there.
Oh my gosh,
Charlottesville Opera.
Cool.
I'm not a singer, but I was helping. I would do I was trying to get people involved from a younger set. So trying to reach out to, university students and get groups of younger people going to the opera. So it's not just an old person thing or something like that, and so I would host singers, to stay with me during the season. And I had one, she's so sweet. And she gave lessons and I said, okay, I'm going to do a lesson with you. And I just was like, can't do it. I just can't let it out.
You've been traumatized. You need to come over. We're going to work on your demons.
That would be super fun. I mean, surrounded by all the animals and stuff like that. But that would be great fun, just to kind of, because I just thought, it's in this world of self-publication, it's so wonderful that you can do interesting stuff. I was watching this movie I think it was called Puppy Love. And it was a movie that it was actually a very interesting movie. It was a treatment of these, a guy and a girl. It's a love story. And they are coping, one's really coping with the effects of COVID, socially and stuff like that. And the other one, she's just kind of trying to find herself. And anyway, they both end up with dogs. They both end up, the girl ends up taking on a dog who's just abandoned or just a street dog, and she feels sorry for it. And the other one, he opts to adopt a dog. And I think he's got the girl dog and she's got the guy dog. And anyway, they meet on Tinder or something like that. And they go for a walk and they do not hit it off. But their dogs end up, getting together during that date. And then a few weeks later, or however soon you can tell, the guy's female is now pregnant with the other one. So now, now.
You mean got together. Okay.
Yes, together. So I was being delicate. So it's a family program here. So anyway, so they end up, they take responsibility. The girl takes responsibility and says, okay, well, they're, my dog got your dog pregnant. So anyway, and they end up helping each other. But the reason why I get into all this is because I don't know who the guy was. He's a very talented guy, actor. And I guess he was from also that show Glee. He was in Glee. When I looked up his I don't remember him from Glee, but he did this really cool version of All Through the Night from Cyndi Lauper. And he does it in a club because he's got like massive social anxiety after COVID. And so she gets him out of his shell and he plays a piece. And even just thinking about it, it brings such anyway, it was very special. And I just think, I love it when you hear somebody do something so simple, just with a keyboard, and you take a new twist on a song. Yes. You don't necessarily need the whole band behind you, Yeah. And it's so funny how how deep a moment I got out of kind of a fluff movie, but actually I don't think it was a fluff movie. I think there was more to that movie than not. Yeah. So yeah, I'm making a recommendation for Puppy Love.
Oh, I'm going to watch it.
It's very sweet. Yeah. Especially because there is the animal, aspect of it and kind of thing.
Well, we'll try to skip by the porno part you were talking about.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But but yeah, so I just always thought, well, there's always room in the world for artists who maybe, I don't have an operatic voice, I don't have, a pop star voice and stuff like that. But even with, I mean, I'm also not Taylor Swift, but I know that people have said about Taylor Swift, she actually doesn't have that great a voice, but she's got that honesty that comes through, I guess.
There are a lot more talented people than me that have not made it, and a lot less talented people that have made it. And it really, there's a lot of luck of, involved with any business, but especially the
Yeah.
music business. But if you're doing what you love,
Yeah.
really, gratitude is its own reward, and doing what you love is its own reward.
Yeah.
And you don't need
Yeah.
a bunch of accolades to actually appreciate a beautiful being in the front yard that I take a photo of. I get to look at it again. I mean, for me, I never thought I would be putting photos on a wall and having an exhibit, but here we are. But
Yeah.
it really, I have probably over 200,000 photos in my computer on the, whatever it goes to. And most of them are crap, and that's okay. You get one good shot, and then you work with that, and then you use some magic that Mike taught me how to do. So, but it's its own reward. Art is its own reward, and I believe we're here to create. We're here to and a lot of times we're so busy doing stuff all the time, we don't sit long enough to have the muse come and say, this would be a good idea. How about that?
Yeah. It's just, it's trying to capture it. It's like, it's in the air and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to like capture it right now. And sometimes it feels as fleeting as, a dream that you wake up and you go, but it was just so
Right.
there a minute ago.
Right.
But it's great stuff to live for. And I just love that you live in that space. You've dedicated yourself to that space. That's courageous. So.
Well, I'm very lucky. And if I didn't have Mike, I'd be driving an Uber and we would not be having this conversation right now. I'd just be paying bills and doing whatever I needed to do to get to the next, week. So I'm very lucky.
Well, you were sent Mike, your angel.
Yes.
So that's lovely. And you've blessed him. So that's all lovely.
Well, you've offered us maybe to do a husband and wife thing at Katie's, because I hope he said he's interested. So hopefully that'll come to fruition.
Okay. You can do Katie's, I've got the list up. I've got the sign up list. I'll make sure to send it to you. You guys can like pick a session, and there's that. And then also Blue Chicken Bakery, which can be an option too. Cool. So yeah, no, it's, I'm so glad to talk, because there's so much more than I even thought,
No.
and just kind of your life journey is fascinating and inspiring. So
you're the one that likes it. You're the one. Thank you so much. You're very sweet.
It's kind of neat also that you've become like this like lovely couple, in the mix of things and your own thing. And you can see Mike so happy with you, and you were all, we were hanging your stuff up and you were so excited. And he says to me, "Oh, she hasn't been jaded yet." And I thought she might not ever be jaded. And you look at the success you already had. So I thought,
Well, music, I definitely got a little jaded with, but I was, doing the wedding circuit and all the stuff that just steals your soul. And until I got back to being able to just do the gigs I wanted to do, write the songs I want to sing, that created a whole new spark. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to working with you again to hang art. Looking forward to coming over for some voice lessons. Just have to bear with me. Look forward to releasing a song with you. I'm finally going to nail Crazy Train. Oh, God, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yes, we will definitely.
We'll be doing the open mic. We'll be doing the open mic at the Old Road. You'll be up there doing that. That'll be awesome.
Oh, that'll be the day, let me tell you. Oh my gosh, what a pleasure. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've got your info of how to find you, how to find your concerts, how to find your art. and your book. Your book is on the MarianneRedmond.com or the Marianne Redmond Photography.
So on MarianneRedmond.com, it's also like Amazon, book. I mean, it's in Barnes and Noble. You can find it.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Bookable. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And
I appreciate you.
Yeah, so much fun.
Thank you, hon.
Okay, appreciate you too. Thank you. Thanks for sitting down and having a tea with us today. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to follow Sit Down and Have a Tea wherever you get your podcasts. To explore more art and connect with the community, visit us at wolfgangandluke.com or stop by the gallery in Sterling, Virginia. Until next time, keep discovering, keep creating, and keep sharing the art that moves you.